There are towns in America where if you trace the ownership of the houses, the businesses, the grocery store, the gas station, the schools, and sometimes even the church, they all lead back to the same name. Sometimes one family, sometimes one corporation, sometimes one billionaire who decided being rich wasn't enough, they needed to own an entire zip code. This isn't a conspiracy theory. These towns are on maps, in the census, and the ownership structures are public record. Today we're going through 10 of them. Stick around for number 1. It's so absurd that the entire town's population lives inside the same building. The same physical building. You'll have to Google it to believe it. Number 10, Hershey, Pennsylvania, the chocolate town. Population about 14,000. Hershey was built by Milton S. Hershey in 1903 to house workers at his chocolate factory. The schools, the hotels, the amusement park, the medical center, the bank, they were all funded by Hershey, and most of them are still controlled by the Milton Hershey School Trust. That trust holds a controlling stake in the Hershey Company itself. It's one of the wealthiest charitable trusts in the world, sitting on billions, originally created to fund a school for orphan boys. The school is still operating, the trust still controls the candy empire, and the town, the actual physical town of Hershey, Pennsylvania, orbits around it. The streetlights downtown are shaped like Hershey's kisses. That's the level of commitment we're talking about. Number 9, Celebration. Florida Celebration was built by the Walt Disney Company in the 1990s as a planned community. Population, about 11,000. The streets, the buildings, the entire layout, Disney designed it. For years, Disney effectively controlled the local government. Mickey Mouse, through his corporate parent, was the de facto landlord. Disney has since sold off most of the residential property and stepped back from active control, but the legacy is intact. Celebration is the closest thing in America to a town that was literally invented by a corporation. White picket fences, Disney-approved house colors, a downtown that looks like a Florida version of Main Street, USA. Some residents love it. Others have published lengthy essays about the eeriness of growing up in a town that was essentially a brand extension. Number 8, Corning, New York, population 11,000, sitting on the Chemung River in southern New York. Corning Incorporated, the glass and ceramics company that makes the Gorilla Glass on your iPhone, is headquartered here. The company has shaped the town entirely. The Corning Museum of Glass, the Corning Tower, the local library, the hospital, the cultural infrastructure. Corning money runs through everything. Without Corning Incorporated, the town would not exist in its current form. With it, the company effectively underwrites the entire local economy. The mayor doesn't run Corning. The Fortune 500 company down the street does. Number 7, Bartlesville. Oklahoma Bartlesville is the original headquarters of Phillips Petroleum, now ConocoPhillips. Population 37,000. The Frank Phillips Mansion is a museum. The Price Tower, the only realized skyscraper designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, is here. The downtown was built by oil money. The schools were funded by oil money. The cultural institutions were funded by oil money. Phillips employed essentially the entire town for the better part of a century. The company has since merged and restructured, but Bartlesville's identity is still Phillips, top to bottom. Locals still call it a Phillips town with no irony. Number 6, Scotia, California. Now we get to a real company town. Scotia is in Humboldt County, on the Eel River, deep in Redwood Country. It was built by the Pacific Lumber Company in the 1880s. Until 2008, the company literally owned every single building in town. Every house, every store, the school, the church. If you lived in Scotia, you rented from Pacific Lumber. Even after the company went bankrupt and was restructured into Humboldt Redwood Company, the new owner still owns most of the town. Scotia is what company town actually means, not a metaphor, not a cute marketing phrase, but the legal and economic reality of an entire community being owned by a single corporate landlord. Number 5, Mountain Iron. Minnesota Mountain Iron sits on the Mesabi Iron Range in northern Minnesota. Population 2,800. The town exists because of one specific thing: iron mining, specifically the U.S. steel mining operations that have dominated the region for over a century. The company built the housing. The company built the schools. The company built the infrastructure. Even today, the town's existence is essentially a function of the mining industry. The land surrounding the town is largely owned by the mining companies. The boom and bust cycles of global steel demand are essentially the boom and bust cycles of the town itself. When the industry coughs, mountain iron catches a cold. Number 4, Boulder City, Nevada plot twist. Boulder City wasn't built by a private company, it was built by the federal government. Population about 16,000. The town was built in 1931 to house workers building the Hoover Dam. For decades, the entire town was federally owned. The federal government still owns much of the surrounding land. And here's the wildest fact, Boulder City is the only city in Nevada where gambling is illegal. The federal government imposed that rule when the town was built in the 1930s, worried that gambling would distract dam workers, and the city has voted to keep the ban ever since. So you've got a Nevada town where you legally cannot open a casino. That's how deep the federal ownership ran. Number 3, Trona. California Trona is in the high desert of San Bernardino County. Population about 1,500. It exists for one specific reason, a chemical mining operation that extracts borax, soda ash, and other minerals from the dry lakebed of Searles Lake. The company currently Searles Valley Minerals owns the land, the homes, and much of the infrastructure. If the company closes, the town dies. The relationship is that direct. The high school football team famously plays on a dirt field because grass won't grow in the soil, too much chemistry leaching out of the lakebed. It is, hands down, one of the strangest one-company towns left in America. Number 2, Irvine. California now, we go from tiny to enormous. Irvine has a population of 320,000. It's a major city, an entire suburb of Los Angeles, and yet much of the land in Irvine is owned by the Irvine Company, a private real estate firm controlled by the Donald Brain family. The Irvine Company owns commercial property, apartment buildings, office parks, shopping centers, and tens of thousands of acres of undeveloped land. Donald Bren is one of America's wealthiest landowners. His company's grip on Irvine is so comprehensive that critics have called it the most successful private master plan city in the country. You can be born in Irvine, go to school in Irvine, work in Irvine, shop in Irvine, and rent your apartment in Irvine, and every single one of those buildings might be owned by the same family. Number 1, Whittier. Alaska, you won't believe this one until you Google it. Whittier, Alaska, has a population of about 270, and nearly every single resident lives in the same building. It's called Begich Towers. 14 stories tall, built by the U.S. Army in the 1950s. When the military left, the building stayed, and the town just moved in. The grocery store is in the building. The post office is in the building. The police station is in the building. The doctor's office is in the building. The church is in the building. The school is in a separate building connected by an underground tunnel, so kids can walk to class without going outside in the Alaskan winter, which is a real and active threat. The entire town. One building, owned originally by the federal government, now organized in a condo-style ownership structure, but functionally a single structure. If the building has a maintenance problem, the entire town has a maintenance problem. If the elevators break, there's an elevator crisis. If your neighbor is annoying, you can't move 4 blocks away, there's no 4 blocks away. Whittier is hands down the strangest town ownership story in America. It's been featured in documentaries. The residents have, by and large, embraced the absurdity. Some of them love it. The building is warm in winter, the community is tight, the views of the bay are spectacular. Others find it claustrophobic in ways no other American town can match. Number 1. One building, one town. Look up Begich Towers. Tell me if I'm exaggerating. I'm not. 10 towns where one entity holds disproportionate power. Some of them work great. Some are slowly collapsing as the corporation that built them moves on. All of them are reminders that small-town America sometimes means extremely concentrated ownership America. Comment below, would you live in a company town? A one-building town? Or do you need real ownership independence, your own deed, your own walls, your own everything? I want to know where people land. Subscribe for more. I've got videos coming on the towns where strange things happen that science can't explain, the towns founded by cults, and the most isolated communities in America. See you in the next one.